All right, I guys doing today. We about to hop into a reaction though. First things first, make sure you like that video, man. Just hit a little exit full screen, scroll a bit, like it, and full screen it back up. You fail me. And then same thing with the Old Testament, right? Everybody like to poke holes at the old. But why? Why back then was nobody saying this didn't happen and this didn't happen when it came to the Old Testament? Nobody was saying that. Nobody was saying that. And then this post that I'm looking at here, it's basically saying how everything, this dude was just asking, did you just think the OT was literally history, or it was the Old Testament literally history? And it was saying that throughout history, the Old Testament, including this, was genuine history. And then Christ himself and Peter himself, right? They give the genealogy of Jesus back to Adam. And you wouldn't say that A to B is mythical while B to C is historical. The implication, therefore, is that the entire lineage of A to C that is from Adam is historical. And that Peter, when talking about the earth was formed by the water and the water by the word of God, which means by the words existed and then was deluged by water and perished, aka the flood of Noah. Speaking of this myth, and not only fact and myth, he didn't describe it, he described it as a fact, but specifically predicts that scoffers will come to deny this, and a combination of explicit description and a prediction of future and denial of the same ought to be given serious pause to anyone doing such denying. Peter also mentions no one in the flood in a way that strongly implies historicity in 2 Peter 2:5, followed immediately, verse 6, by the mention of Sodom and Gomorrah as affirmed factual by Christ himself. And Paul repeatedly mentions Adam and Eve in the fall, and no indication that he's speaking of myths. The most straightforward reading of these citations would be that Paul believed them to be genuinely historical. The context is also important because he uses Genesis 1 to 3 as the basis for many theological teachings, which would be seriously undermined if he was referring to myths rather than true history. And a lot of people like to bring up the fact that you can't just argue about the speculation. You can't just talk about the fact that, oh, they didn't talk about it back then, they didn't deny it back then, therefore you're arguing from a bad spot. You can't just say that just because they didn't deny it or question it back then that it's not true. But you have to look at it, right? We have these things, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the other scrolls, the fact that these were written and they were copied so thoroughly back and forth from ages to different ages. Why would the Jews have done this? Why would they have based their entire culture off of these things? We're looking at in Hebrews right now. We're in Hebrews chapter 4 and chapter 3 where he's talking about the unbelief of the Israelites. You know how dumb you'd have to be? Which they really were. They really were. Sometimes you think, how dumb would you have to be for this God to let you out of Egypt, to do these signs and miracles that got you set free from Egypt, and then deny him in the same generation? You denied him in the same generation enough that he would let you die in the wilderness. He let you die because you didn't believe that he just did what he just did. If I, in your face, just killed a whole bunch of babies. In your face, killed a whole bunch of babies. In front, no, not even in your face. In the face of an entire nation. If I, on live television, hold on. All right, history of Jews in Egypt, 120. Okay, but were Hebrews ever slaves in ancient Israel? Yes, Israel News, 1237. It says 600,000 men on foot went out from Egypt, right? That's around 2 million people total. We'll take the low number. We'll take 600,000. If I went on camera, live television, in front of 600,000 people were watching the news, I killed, I don't even know how many. We'll just even say one baby. 600,000 people watched me kill one baby. God did more than that. The angel of death killed more than just one baby. But we know at the very least he killed Pharaoh's firstborn son, which said, get these people out of my country. 600,000 people on live TV. Live TV. Watch me kill this baby. They watched me kill this baby. And then they say, get out of our country. Get out of the country. And then in the same turnaround, and then not 40 years later, not even 40 years later, we don't even know how long, right? But at the most 40 years, we'll say 40 years went by. These same people that were alive watched me kill that baby on TV, knowing that it's still me. They know that it's still me. They asked me to kill that baby. They said, kill that baby. I killed that baby. They kicked me out of the country. 40 years later, these same people that watched me kill that baby say, nah, he didn't kill that baby, bring him back in. He didn't kill that baby. What are you talking about? He could not have. He couldn't have, because if he did, if he actually did that, and they didn't say this, but it's the implications, right? If he actually killed that baby, he'd be in jail and not over there, right? Something like that. Something like that. Because that's what the Israelites said. They said, hey, if you really did this, we wouldn't be starving right now. If he really killed that baby, he'd be in jail, but he's exiled, which means he didn't kill that baby. And then you have some people there who saying, He killed that baby. Y'all watched him kill that baby. You exiled him. You didn't put him in jail. And now you saying he didn't kill that baby because you exiled him instead of putting him in jail. God done set you free. Split a whole... He done did this whole thing. Split a whole river for you to get through. Closed that river upon your enemies. They all drowned. Led you over here. Told you to go over there. And if you really stay there, you good for the rest of all your lives until eternity? Split that river. Killed them babies. Did all that things. And y'all saying he can't be real because you're going thirsty. Not. He's real because he freed you from slavery and split a river. No. He's not real because you're going thirsty. Freeing you from slavery wasn't enough. You want some water. Splitting a river wasn't enough. You want some water. Build upon that self. That was Exodus. Then they go into God's rest. Part of the rest. Not the full rest. Part of the rest. David's lineage. Saul. Solomon. Every single thing that happened up until then. Daniel. The prophets. All of this history combining upon itself. Miracle upon miracle. Elijah with the other false prophets saying, burn this up. They're cutting themselves. They're doing all this. Elijah pours water on the wood. It turns into fire because he prayed to God. Daniel getting saved from fire with 3 other men just because they had faith in God. And the king said, I'm going to burn you. And they didn't burn in that fire because they had faith in God. That's another miracle. All of these Old Testament prophets prophesying about Jesus coming. All these Jews who still believe that all that junk really done happened. Even if Genesis ain't happened, you still looking at all the lineages saying, nah, bro. Because look at the basis of just the 12 alone. The tribes alone. You had these people counting lineages, bro. They've been counting lineages since Moses done wrote Genesis. Going through all of Adam's lineage, all of Moses, all of Noah, all of that. He begot him, begot him, begot him. This dude with one name that we ain't never heard of his kids ever. But him, begot him, begot him, begot him, begot him. He lived to this long. He lived to that long. He lived to that long. Bro couldn't have just been talking out of his yapper for no reason. He couldn't have spun a web of stuff that said that this would do this, that did this, that did this. Because if he was the author, which is said to be. So Moses is apparently not said to have wrote Exodus. And it's based on like oral traditions. But Moses is traditionally considered to have written, not traditionally considered, support. There's evidential support that he wrote Leviticus and Numbers. Both of the law. Oh wait, let's check Deuteronomy too. It said most likely he wrote Deuteronomy as well. So if he wrote all 3 of these books, even if he didn't write Exodus and Genesis, right? He wrote down the law. Where did this law come from? The law came from God. Who spoke to God, Moses in the burning bush? God. And do we think, correct me if I'm wrong, it said multiple authors probably wrote Genesis. Do we think multiple authors, even if they got together in a circle, based all of life's teachings, the true of life's teachings, on the chance that all this may come to fruition? Adam lived to this long, his kids were this is why this is why this is why that. These are real places. This really happened, blah, 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 blah. Enough to predict the Savior's coming 4,000 to 6,000 years later and be able to base the entire religion off of that alone. Do we really think that would have happened? Do we really think the Jews would have passed down these oral traditions like that if it wasn't true? You think people would be lying to themselves for this long? They're still Jews today with their lineage passing through the Levites. There are approximately 500,000 Levites in the world. How would they know if they weren't tracing their genealogy from that? If their families ain't built upon their families, One guy couldn't have just lied at one point and said, we're Levitical now. Right? No, this is careful. This is proven. It's not just cap. It's not just stories, bro. But you know what is? Evolution. We think this happened. The thing is that there's no proof. That's the main objective. There's no proof. We found bones. Wait. This kind of looks like this. Boom. We proved it. We did it. We got the bones. We got the strongest in the thing out of the way. It's done. We're good. Completed. We're done ski. We're done. Proven. And let's, just in case, let's keep re-upping different things. Oh yeah, this is like this. This is like this. I'm having some fun with this. Making stuff up is kind of fun. This one looks like this. This kind of looks like that. I think this is the reason why that. You know what? This experiment that's based on nothing, it kind of proves that that's like that. Boom, put it in a book. Oh, you liked what you saw, and you gonna say you gonna publish the thing that says it's true. My guy. I'm just saying. I ain't gonna let it slide either. I'm gonna keep talking my talk. Keep walking it out. That's all I can do, bro. That's all I can do. Got scientists conceding. Hey, science helps me prove more that God exists every day and every day. I don't hear no average everyday Christian saying more and more evolution's helping me believe in God because he really did the like there's some Christians who believe in evolution, but that's not the same implications as scientists who believe in biblical creation because they can't coexist. But as Darwin said, light will one day be shown on the origins of man and its history. I still think it's funny he said that light will be shown. Who's the light of the world? Who's the way, the truth, and the light? So I gotta say. All right, that's gonna be the end of the video. Hope you guys have yourselves fantastic rest of your day. Peace.